What's up? What up, Casey? I'm just about to go to the comedy store for my 10:15 set. So I thought I would do a little live stream to placate my fans, my soldiers, the Earl Army. And hoping you guys and girls are having a happy Saturday night wherever you may be. And yeah, I mean, it's always good to have a spot at the comedy store. Trust me on that one. Because there's a lot of comics who don't. So I'm always grateful when I have a spot. You always want more, but one is better than none. So I've had a good day. I watched the 6-hour AEW pay-per-view, went to the gym, and I thought, I better stream for a minute or two. And here we are, live and in the flesh, baby doll. And I know some people are out on dates, dinner nights with the family, listening to other streamers. That's okay. We've always been a small but mighty bunch in here. I mean, I find working out is really just a habit. Once you get into it, it's easy. Did I want to work out necessarily after a 6-hour pay-per-view, knowing I could just rest up for my spot tonight? Not really. But I did it, and now I feel a lot better. And I know that my set will be better because I won't be in my head of, I should have worked out. And, I got some people coming to see me. So it should be a good night. And it's sold out. The show's completely sold out. And they probably won't all be there when I get there, but it should be a fun spot. It's really all dependent how I do on the comic before me. If they give me a good intro and they were doing well, I'll have a good set. But if they give me a bad intro and they weren't doing well, I'll have to really get them right off the bat, because at that point they've already been in for 2 to 3 hours. So they're looking for an excuse. So hopefully I don't give it to them. But usually the comic before me gives me a good intro and whatnot. I mean, there's only been one comic who no longer gets spots there anymore, who gave me a shitty intro because they were bombing. And it's no big deal bombing. We all bomb. But, they started running the light because they wanted to end on a laugh. And, that particular night, they weren't going to end on a laugh. Just some nights it happens. And so here we are. You have to see Save Gutfeld Earl. That shows tanking big time, no good comics. I mean, I'm trying. I mean, it's kind of like Rogan. I can't force my way onto the show, but I do think that all I would need is the one chance. I have someone coming tonight who is looking at working his angles to get me on the show. So, I've done all I can. Usually as a comic, you can always try something, but I've reached out to all the appropriate people. I've sent them the appropriate materials So I think I'll get on it. But it's kind of like Rogan. I can live if I don't get on it. So, oh shit. We've got Corn Diff, a legend of the Dabbleverse, in the house. Everyone follow, or how they say on the tube, subscribe to Corn Diff. I would say he's Dabbleverse adjacent. Maybe he's one level above me in the Dabbleverse adjacent battlefield. So I do try and have this stream be a relief from the Dabbleverse. Now we can talk about it. I just feel there's people who are better positioned in life to talk about restraining orders and the newest attempted stars of the Dabbleverse. I'd rather talk about AEW Wrestling, who put on maybe their best pay-per-view ever. And I've seen them all from day one, 5 years ago, to tonight. And even though the pay-per-view was a smidge long, and I'm not even saying I would have cut a particular match because they were all good. But I would have maybe. I mean, I don't know. The crowd was hot for every match, which is very rare. I mean, they took a little bit of a rest during the Okada Omega match, but that was kind of, I would say, it was a slower paced match. So, I think that, and it ended up being a great, 5-star match to me anyway, or at least a 4-star match. And so, all in all, I give it an A minus. Like I said, I mean, I would have maybe shaved a few minutes off of, a few matches, and what up? Maybe some of the gauntlet matches on both male and female. I would have saved some of those debuts for another time, so you could shave a few minutes off. But it's easy for me to say that. I mean, I'm not the one who has to fucking put on this show. I'm a what do they call it? A quarterback couch. So if you have not seen it was their WrestleMania and it showed. So we got Colt C. Colt C's a Dabbleverse guy. We got some dabblers in here. No, Lois is at Gail's house for another 2 weeks, and then I get her back, and you know, um, it's we co-parent. It's like having a child. But Lois does like being there and here. Here she's the queen. At Gale, she's got to split the Lovins time with Donnie and Darla, the two cats, but they get along very well. So, I mean, I think Lois almost prefers cats to dogs, but and Lois is, she's still coughing and stuff, but we take good care of her. Kongzilla, damn, I haven't seen this name in a second. Well, I wasn't really invited, to be honest with you. I would have gone, I mean, I would make some nice money at StarCast, but if I was a little more known, I would do those things because it's great money. But I'm not really known I mean, outside of being Piper's co-host, but that was 10 years ago, so I don't know necessarily if people remember that. Certainly not enough for me to travel around the country doing StarCast. But I am wearing a Ric Flair shirt in support of Conrad. So, I mean, what a great weekend or week of wrestling for AEW. You had a good Dynamite on Wednesday. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. You had a good Collision. Not very star powered because you don't want to have your guys and girls wrestling get hurt. Friday, I think, was a great Ring of Honor card. I didn't see it, but I heard it was very good. And then today's pay-per-view was bopping, and I think they have one more day of Starcast tomorrow. So, what up, Hugo? No, it's just Ric Flair. There might be some. Um, I'm not at liberty to say who, but there might be some AEW wrestlers who weren't on the card in attendance at the Comedy Store tonight. So, I'm just doing this as a goof for them. I am doing a set tonight, 10:15, closing out the main room. There's only one show in the main room now, so the show goes from 8 to 10:15 instead of what was it, 9 to 10:30, and then no 8. What is it? 8 to 10, and then they take a half hour break, and then they do a late show. But right now, there's just one show. So in some ways, I kind of miss going on at 12:15, 1 o'clock, because I'd really gotten used to the pace of that hour and the tiredness or the wildness of the crowd. I mean, last week it was kind of weird. I mean, there was still a ton of people in the room, and they were rocking. So, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I mean, it's been a long time since I bombed. It certainly has happened. Trust me on that one. But what up? What up? Coffee? I mean, I'm an energy drink guy, but I think I am done with my energy drink consumption today. It's hot here in LA. I'd probably say it's still about 75 to 80 outside, so I'm just drinking a little bit of water. I always feel a little thinner when I'm drinking the aqua. What up, Leilana Montgomery? I got to get you to the Comedy Store. I know you're a local yokel. So, I'm just reading on that. See what the Drudge report says. That plane crash, what was it, a couple weeks ago, was on purpose. One of the pilots shut off all the fuel. Like, Jesus, man. That's fucking bonkers. And they don't know which pilot because I guess on the voice recorder, it's kind of up to interpretation in terms of which pilot did it. So let's see if the Drudge report has anything. No, the Drudge report is my go-to. Let me see here. No, cross-dresser faces jail. Drudge goes off the grid sometimes with some of his stories. Gavin Newsom running for president. Oh, shit. Tina Brown, doubts grow on Epstein's suicide. Superman doing well at the box office. All right, well, there's nothing on the plane crash, so I guess they've already moved on from that storyline. I didn't watch Goldberg and Gunther. Yeah, MH370. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been following that story. I mean, I know Bongino and Cash Patel said they would resign if she got fired. So, it kind of seems like, it's, Trump. Welcome to the age of gooning. That's another. When they're doing an article on gooning over the plane crash, I guess the plane crash wasn't that big. Carms is live, though. I don't really care if Carms is live. What is gooning? Okay. Gooning is sometimes framed as meditative, a way to slip into a euphoric haze, stretching the edge of orgasm like a rubber band. About 1 in 7 Americans say it brings them a sense of peace, according to Zip Health. For some, it's a form of escape. Some report, and 7% say It's not just I still don't understand what gooning means, but whatever. Earl, what up, Todd? Um, I think KB is live. That's all right. I mean, listen, I gotta go. Live when I can. And I'm not. I don't think KB is going to be too concerned that I have 11 people in here. Do I wish there was more? Yeah, I do. I mean, yes, MLC is live. Um, he's got Mr. Kill Everything, and I think the Sorcerer. I mean, what can I do? I mean, what can I do? Um, I like KB. We've got the All In Texas Post Media Scrum. I wouldn't say that's taking a lot from me, but I gotta like. Unfortunately, I can't really concern myself with who's on right now. But I'm lucky that no one really snipes me. So, uh, I mean, it says gooning is like holding it in. I don't know. I still don't know what gooning it is. I mean, I know sometimes I've had some trolls in here saying, "Do you goon?" And I didn't really know what the hell they were talking about, to be honest with you. Um, Hold on, I got to answer a very important text here. This is a Comedy Store related. Oh, sorry, guys. I hate inviting people to the Comedy Store. What up? What up? What up? CC Motion. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. I mean, Dustin Rhodes. But what is edging though? Like I know edging is like teasing, so it's basically tantric sex. Um, so um, it makes sense. Dustin Rhodes winning in Texas. I mean, when it first happened, I was like, he shouldn't beat Kyle Fletcher. But in Texas, that was the right thing to do. He's paid his dues, man. You got to give him that. Um, so I didn't mind that. I mean, jacking and then stopping before you nut over and over. I mean, I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe with the right girl, but you know, I've never. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen. At some point, you have to figure out new ways of getting off. I suppose. Um, I mean, I would. Oh no, that may. Um, but thank you, Gambu, for telling me that. What up, Ryan Nordahl? Yeah, but have you heard of load maxing? No, I haven't. I've heard there was a supplement out on the market a couple years ago. It might still be on the market. Semen Max to bust some real gooeyes, but like that's never been a problem for me. So yeah, but I don't think any girl wants like a paint bucket size load. To be frank, I mean I don't know what women want, but like um, I don't know. I'm speaking out of my area of expertise. I might have you guys go to Kevin Brennan's stream. I don't know. I mean, we're certainly getting pretty raunchy in here, talking about loads and like edging and gooning. I just, that's a funny name to me, gooning. But at least now I know what it means. Because when the trolls would come in here and says, "Do you goon?" I was like, "What? What is that?" I thought it meant hockey fighting. Uh, you never saw that Mel Gibson movie? I don't know. I mean, Mel Gibson has a fair amount of movies, to be honest with you. Can you specify? I checked out on Mel Gibson after Lethal Weapon and Bird on a Wire, to be honest with you. Bird on a Wire is kind of an under the radar movie he did where David Carradine and Bill Duke are the bad guys. I think it was around 89, 1989, if I'm not mistaken. Bill Duke had a nice run in the late 80s. You had Commando, Predator, Bird on a Wire, and he had another movie, Action Jackson. Uh, I have seen Payback because one of my favorite actors, maybe my favorite actor, John Glover, was one of the goons, speaking of gooning, for Mel Gibson in Payback. Um, I mean, I thought the pay-per-view, to be honest with you, was, nothing's perfect. I mean, there's a few things that, to be honest with you, I would have done differently, but like, um, like instead of having, am I out on bail right now? I've never been in jail before. Are you trolling me, Mark? Hit the like and subscribe button if you are. I allow it, but you got to be a subscriber. Um, like instead of Stokely chaining Marina Shafir to the case, I would have had it be Sting, because Sting's from Texas, so I'm sure he lives around there. And although yes, Sting is retired, it's not technically wrestling. I think the crowd would have popped harder for that than Stokely. No offense to Stokely. Um, I would have had Wardlow appear at some point. I don't know where, but I thought the Darby thing, Jesus Christ, he dropped from the top of the arena. That was pretty ballsy. Especially like it looked like Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson. He had like a blue blazer mask on. I'm like, Jesus, I hope nothing goes wrong for Darby's, you know, entrance. So, um, what up, Richard Swanson? Swanson in the house. This will be a little bit under, maybe about an hour stream because my spot is at 10:15, and I have to kind of get there early because if someone doesn't show up, I could go on at 9:45. So or a special guest might show up. I might not go on to 11. So the good thing is with no second show, there's a lot of wiggle room in terms of spots and whatnot when I could or should go on. But we soon shall see. So we'll go to about 9 o'clock maybe, and then I got to get ready. But I wanted to go on. I'm in a good mood. I mean, the wrestling pay-per-view was so good, it put me in a good mood. And I'm closing, Daryl. I'm the Saturday night closer, unless some super big comic is in town, then they would probably close it out. But if a big comic is not in town, I get to close it out. So I thought AEW was great. I mean, I give it an A minus. I mean, nothing's perfect, so it's hard to give anything an A plus. But very, very few things that I would have done differently. Like I said, I would have had Sting come in instead of Stokely for the last match. The crowd would have popped hard for that. And I thought because there was a guy in a Sting mask in the front row at Dynamite Collision and tonight that, there was something to that. I thought the Danielson surprise was cool. I hadn't heard anyone mention him. I think it was just assumed Darby was going to show up during the Hangman match. I didn't even know Derek Lewis was fighting tonight. Is he fighting tonight? Um, the Omega match was slow paced, but very good. I mean, those guys have great chemistry. No botches at all. A couple risky maneuvers. I mean, it's definitely slower paced because, Omega's at 40, I think, and it's not like Okada's a teenager. And those guys are old for their age because they go hard. And, you're going to see Osprey have a similar, I think, arc. Those guys in New Japan, they don't fuck around. I mean, if you really want to see Omega and Okada go, look at their New Japan matches. I mean, it's like, holy God, these guys are fucking murdering each other. Oh, I don't know who Edward Berlanga is. Oh, is it a UFC fight? Omega lost. Very surprising. Boxing and UFC. Oh, okay. What channel would that be on? I'm assuming that's a pay-per-view. I'm 6 hours of AEW. I'm a little burnt out on combat sports, to be honest with you. I didn't even know Goldberg and Gunther were fighting, but I don't really watch UFC. Oh, I mean, I do have ESPN Plus, I think so, but I'm definitely not going to watch that tonight. I mean, Dan Henderson been getting a lot of love. Oh, geez, I hope he doesn't fight. Like, he's around my age, I think. I don't want to see that shit. I want to remember him for who he was. So, yeah, I mean, the H-bomb, but, his last, I think, what was his last match against Cormier when Cormier kind of ragdolled him? I don't want to see that shit. I want to remember these guys for, he was great in Pride, and so was Silva and Fedor and, Kevin Randleman and, Bob Sapp. I mean, but all those guys over him, they were all fucking juicing, man. You look at, when Henderson was on TRT in the UFC, which was legal at the time until it wasn't, him and Belfort looked like deflated tires. And I get it. I thought of taking TRT, to be honest with you. Just because, who wouldn't want to have the testosterone they had at 20? But there's just too many things when I researched it, that I was scared to do. So, okay, Jesus, all good. Yeah, Evan Tanner, he was a sad, sad. He just lost his mind, basically. Do you like the new AEW roster? I mean, Superstar Kid, I do. I'm an AEW mark. I don't like WWE, to be honest with you. Wait, Ernest Miller, Chuck Zito, Goldberg Kid escorted him to the gorilla position. Oh, I don't know. I mean, interesting. Yeah, I mean, Henderson was great in his prime, but I don't want to see these guys when, like seeing Randy Couture fight Lesnar. I was like, Jesus, Lesnar's gonna kill this fucking guy, and Couture was great. I just, I don't want to, I don't know. I think it was the right. Fedor was the leaping, or the lunging overhand right. But I don't see Fedor fight again. I don't think he is, but like you never know in Russia. I remember that one fight they had with Fedor and Jeff Monson in Russia. He was the guy with all the tattoos, and Monson was limping to the ring, to the cage before the fight. I mean, it was a total fixed job. But I believe Fedor was the huge looping overhand right. Might have been Henderson too, though. Valentin Emelianenko. Yeah, he wasn't as scary though. Like he didn't win a lot. I'd put Valentin in there with like Gilbert Ivel, guys like that who were scary, but they never really won. So they were scary, I think, to us as fans, but I think to other UFC fighters, they were not crazy. I was not in the fight. I was at that fight at the Forum. That was when, who was it? I'm seeing his face. Not Montoya. Carlos, oh, what was his name? De La Hoya. That was his fighting promotion. And it was pretty sad to watch that fight. I mean, Liddell did not look very good. And it's not like Ortiz looked great either, to be honest with you. So, but you know, these guys, a lot of these guys didn't save their fucking money, so they have to fight. I mean, I just saw one of my favorite hockey players from the 90s, Paul Laws, Laus, from the Florida Panthers. He's selling his jerseys and his trophies from juniors, and you just knew, okay, this guy didn't save his fucking money. So, I mean, really, how much is he going to get for those jerseys? Maybe $1,000 each. So, you know, it just made me sad because I mean, Paul Loss would play in the NHL if they would let him because he probably needs the money. That's why Yager plays still. I mean, because Yager, the word on the street is that he is let's just say he's a gambling addict. So, they think that he needs, to play to, satisfy his gambling urges, which is crazy. I mean, the guy's, 52, 53 years old, played hockey for 30 years. He probably, I'll guess, made around $100 million, and like you're basically broke. That's yeeks. Because what's he gonna do from now to the rest of his life? Um, Bob Sapp, I think the funniest Bob Sapp story I have is, he still fights over there, but he tells promoters, "You got me for 2 minutes, and then after that, I go home." So, if you notice, most of Bob Sapp's fights, the last probably decade, have been about 2 minutes. Not necessarily fixed, but they don't last as long as they should. Um, a Sapp attack, that's a big boy, man. Um, I mean, but he's not a great fighter. That's another dude who, on paper, or if you just looked at a picture of him and go, this guy's unbeatable, but he was actually very beatable because he had no gas tank. He was kind of slow, but strong as a fucking ox, and especially the first couple minutes when he's fresh. But then he got tired pretty fast. I mean, you can't be however many pounds he weighs, 300 plus, physically jacked and like, you know, have a good cardio regimen. I would guess that Bob Sapp has never been on a treadmill in his life. He just lifts. And I get the feeling he probably doesn't even lift that much. He's just a genetic freak. I mean, and it's absolutely almost impossible to look like that naturally. So, yeah, I mean, he's impressive. 400 pounds, I mean, that's probably about right. I mean, even when he was in the Rob Schneider movie, Big Stan, he was easily 350 and jacked. Previous world's strongest man, started training and going on a streak. Did he fight UFC or Pride or whatever's over there now? I don't know what's over there now. Yes, it won't be too much longer, about 10 minutes, because I've got to get ready for the Comedy Store. Thank you very much. I have no pants on right now, to be honest with you. So I've got my long underwear on, showing off my Tom Platz-like thighs. But I don't show that for free. Like the Rat song says, nobody rides for free. Speaking of Rat, the song Round and Round is in the Brad Pitt movie, F1. Check it out. Or check it out, as Angel Salazar would say. I mean, I don't know how Hall would do against, like, say, I mean, I don't even know many heavyweights in the UFC now. That Tom Aspinall guy, but I've never seen him fight. And I guess John Jones goes back and forth between retiring and whatnot. Um, I didn't like that protein donut, to be honest with you. I mean, would I get it again? I probably would if I was like starving, but it definitely wasn't that good, to be honest with you. Um, and then there was that guy, I forget the muscle bound Russian guy. He was an MMA fighter, but he was fucking horrible. What up, TB? Ooh, gotta stretch my back. Oh, feels so good to have no back pain, man. I was hurting there for a couple weeks. So hopefully, I get that back wrench about every 3 years. What up, Brian McClure? No, Todd Duffy. Yeah, he was I mean, he had a great body. He was like the white Overeem, but I think once the UFC started drug testing, Duffy had some problems passing. But he was a tough guy. I mean, he could kick my ass. Um, yeah, I mean, the Pop Tarts are okay. I mean, they're better if you put them in the not the oven, but the toaster for like 15 seconds. They're much better warm than cold. But those two donuts I ate last night, very dry, and the chocolate wasn't the best tasting. The chocolate was kind of stale. If that makes any sense. They had other flavors, but I suspect that the flavors they had like birthday cake and I think cinnamon, some kind of a cinnamon swirl thing. But Lois is at Gale's. So she be chilling. How are you not a color commentator for wrestling? I should be, but and I would love, I would do it in the vein of Nigel McGuinness, who's very funny. He's an AEW color commentator. He's just got, like today, and you got to be a mark to get some of his jokes. Like when they were doing the men's gauntlet match, which was basically like a mini Royal Rumble, and the clock was ticking, and he was like, "I wonder who's next." I heard Vegas had it at 2-1 odds. It was Pez Watley. Now Pez Watley is an old school '80s wrestler, so it's just funny if you're a wrestling fan. But I'm sure if you're not and you have no idea who Pez Watley is, it's not that funny. So I do care a lot about animals. Lois, she's got the partially collapsed trachea. It will never be better, but I don't think it'll be worse. I mean, she can still go for an hour to 2 hour walks with me pretty easily. So, that is a good song. In my dreams, keep on haunting me. Get back, that ain't who I wanna be. If you could only see the look in my eyes, it wouldn't be such a big surprise. I'm sick and tired of talking about good old days. Everyone in my way, do, nobody rides for free. Of course, that was the first video they did without Robin Crosby, so that's probably when the the nails were coming unscrewed, if you will. So we're gonna go another 5 minutes, guys, and then I have to end the stream. But you guys could run to Kevin Brennan's stream and whoever else, Karmic X's stream. Get in there. I mean, you should hit up I mean, that's something where an agent or a manager, would contact Tony Khan and AEW and go, "Hey, this guy's a comic. He loves wrestling, but they're pretty set at the AEW level. Maybe Ring of Honor. I did see Ozzy's. Well, I didn't see his last tour, but the last Ozzy show I saw was." Solo show was probably the Osmosis tour, and that's a weird one because you had Joe Holmes on guitar. Thank you, Daryl. Well, I'm going to end pretty soon, so you can go to Kevin or Karmic X's stream. Last Ozzy show I saw was, I think, at Ozfest Might have been the one Marilyn Manson. I remember Marilyn Manson was on it, and I think it was the one where they threw shit at Iron Maiden. So, well, I don't want you guys to leave MLC or whatnot, but I don't think Kevin minds that I have 8 people in here right now. So, and I realize that this is a quick stream, but, I'm just trying to squeeze it all in one day. So Carmen, and I don't really know him, so I think he was in my stream once or twice. Seems like a nice guy. I mean, I don't like how he drinks so much. I mean, him and Mr. Kill Everything are setting up to be the new Ski Mask. So, and Ski Mask was a good dude, but I didn't have to work with him a lot, so clearly he had his demons, but I hope he's in a better place now. I'd rather talk about Gooning and Kenny Omega, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you guys do. And I have to start preparing for jokes I'm going to do. The booker just texted me the show is completely sold out. So, although I'm only playing in front of 10 people right now in the stream, in about an hour and 20 minutes, I will be in front of 400 people. So, let's get it. Well, I think a lot of people are on Kevin's stream and Karmic X's stream, but I just can't talk about the Dabbleverse. I mean, I know my numbers would explode if I did, or maybe not even explode, but be bigger. But I just can't, man. I'd literally rather have 11 people in here than talk about Steel Toe. No offense to Steel Toe. Just not my thing. Well, I hope I do kill it tonight, Ross. And thank you, Shandy. There's even been talk. I was speaking with a comedy agent / manager, and he was saying that he just got his clients to sell out shows in Australia. So who knows? You might see me in the land of Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Mosh pit during Metallica tore up the temporary seats. Yeah, I mean, that's like prime Metallica, prime Dokken, prime Scorpions. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say prime Van Halen, but they were pretty good. Don't know a lot about Kingdom Comes prime, but yo 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 Rudy Barga. I think Rat was on one of those things in Frisco. Day of the Green, isn't that what it's called? Well, it's gonna have to pay a lot of money to get me to fly to Australia. 16 hours. And it would absolutely have to be a first class ticket. So that's a lot of money. So it would have to be a theater tour, and I don't know if I would be big enough to do a theater tour, but I certainly would do it. So we'll see. I mean, I definitely, excuse me, I definitely want to tour more, but you got to build up the name because it's hard to sell out a theater when no one knows who you are. But there are some, like I know there's an East Coast chain, City Wineries. I see some Kill Tony comics headlining, and they can't do 45 minutes. So, but their name, I guess. So that's the business right there in a nutshell. So get your last minute questions in, guys, because I got to go. Oh, okay. Yeah, went to Comedy Store from Jersey. Yeah, I mean, I've been on many a show with Marin. I don't think, I mean, I've been on a few shows with Mulaney, but we've never actually met. Done a ton of shows with Spade. So, Comedy Store is the best club in the country. It's just, just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just, it's kind of like Madison Square Garden's the best arena in the country. It's just hard to, it's just, I don't know why, it just is. So, but thank you guys for joining me tonight. It's a small but mighty group in here. I know you have many streaming options, and I do appreciate you guys coming into the Earlverse and being soldiers with me. Got some things, good things possibly happening. And most comics say that, but I do have some coals on the fire, so to speak. And even if just half of them happened, it would be great. But all of them could happen, and frankly, none of them could happen. So you guys will know as soon as I know. So we'll go a couple more minutes. I'm going a little longer than I should, but that's because I care about you guys. Do a day drinking slob tour tomorrow. Too funny. I mean, there are definitely some day drinkers in the city of West Hollywood on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, it's impressive how they just fucking pound booze, from about 1 to 2 p.m. to last call for alcohol. But usually the bars that, the heavy drinkers are at are, they play music, so it's hard to get that stream monetized with all the music playing in the background. But, we'll see. We'll see. I make no promises. But yeah, I mean, there's some, like I said, there are some casinos. These are Dita Eyewear. Dita. There's some theaters, like I think there's a theater in Pennsylvania, the Emmaus, Pennsylvania. And there's the Emos or Emmaus Theater where pretty much anyone can sell out. Like I could sell out the Emmaus Theater. It's because there's nothing to do up there. So, would I go all the way up there for one gig? Probably not. But Miss Lois is at Gail's house. So, and then there's a theater in Boston, the Wilbur Theater, where bigger names play. But I think, with 1 or 2 current TV credits, that I could play there pretty easily. Yeah, isn't that wild? That's the gym I'm leaving. Gold's Gym in the Beverly Center Mall opens up Tuesday, and I can't wait. It's 24 hours, which is great. The bad news is the fact that it's 24 hours, it'll basically turn into a bathhouse in the first month. They played the Emos Theater or the Wilbur Theater. Yeah, I mean, the dude definitely had some mental demons. I felt bad for the dog. So, but, he was crazy. And I feel bad because most of that gym is all girls working there, so they were probably fucking scared. But you get a few of those roided out bodybuilders, upstairs, they come down and help out if the guy got wild. I mean, the gym is really not the best place for an outsider to pick a fight with people, especially the female or really the male employees who everybody in general likes. Yeah, I mean, there's weird casinos like, I'm trying to think, there's comedy clubs. There's a comedy club in Arizona. I forget where in Arizona. It's called Stir Crazy. You guys could play it and sell it out. They'll pretty much book anybody because there's certain areas of the country where there's literally nothing to do. It's like the comedy club in Edmonton. There's nothing to do in Edmonton other than watch the Edmonton Oilers. But in the summer, like the comedy club's really the only entertainment up there outside of bars. So, it's just one of those things that I could sell out the Edmonton Comedy Club, even though I'm not a huge name. They don't care who's playing there. They just want to be entertained. So, that's cool. Where do you live, TB? If you don't mind, or what area? You don't have to. I might have to look into this casino. Um, Arizona. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember where Stir Crazy Comedy Club is, and then there's the House of Comedy in Scottsdale, which I've played. That's where the roast of Shane Doan was. I mean, good comedy, is almost better if they're not famous because they try harder. You take famous comics, they don't really try hard. They just usually, not all, but most of them have writers, and they don't practice the jokes. They just have a team of writers write them shit, and then they fucking go out there like a robot, say their jokes for an hour, and get paid 50 grand or whatever. What up, daddy, man? I'm about to go to the Comedy Store. I'm doing way too long here. I'm going to do an hour for you guys, so 8 more minutes. Hit the like and subscribe button. I can't be late, especially if someone doesn't show up. Ooh, and the booker's there tonight. It would not be a good look if I did not show up on time. Trust me on that one. Um, I'm here despite all odds. What up, hi-fi protege? I'm about to put my pants on and go to the Comedy Store. I mean, you have to hustle, man. I could quit comedy, and I mean, the water's all right. It's body energy water from Canada, so it's just water, spring water. I could quit and make a big hubbub about it. You guys might be sad for a day, and then you'd move on to the next comic. To be frank, so yeah, I should do pretty well, TB. I mean, all shows are sold out tonight, so well, thank you. Yes, there are. I do have a very small. Whoa, 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 whoa! The TV just turned on. Hold on, let me turn that shit off. We got a. Okay, we'll just leave that on my pay-per-view channel. It's 9:05. We'll do another 5 minutes. And then I got to go, babies. I cannot. Yeah, Lois Staggy is with Gail, her mommy. And I do keep it real, which is good and bad. But I'm starting to realize, keeping it real, it's not always the best course of strategy. Like I was talking with someone the other day who could help me. I mean, this is a person who could make phone calls, and these calls get answered on the first ring. Trust me on that one. And they were like, what about the roast? She'd be great on the roast. I can make a call. I'm like, I'll never get on a roast because of Jeff Ross. If he saw my name on a list of potential roasters, it's X'd out. And, frankly, that was a risk that I took when I spoke out about how he and his manager treated me. And I wouldn't change anything for the world. I really wouldn't. I'm very happy with how I spoke out and, stood up for myself. Yeah, I mean, that's, I'm trying to be TB. I don't really pay attention to what other comics do. I don't even know who's bringing me up tonight. I literally don't pay attention to that stuff. I do my set, I do my thing, whether the booker's in the room or not. And, last night was the best example of that. Or not last night, last week, last Saturday night. I think I told the story, but there may be some new people in here. This lady came up to me after the show, older lady, probably 60s, and said, "You are our favorite one, and she was with a group of about 5 or 6 other ladies in that age range. And I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And then she's like, my daughter does comedy. I'm like, oh, give her my number or my Instagram. Maybe I can help her out. And she was like, she could probably help you out. I'm like, well, who's your daughter? And she's like, oh, I'm Nikki Glazer's mom. I'm like, ugh. Now, Nikki could probably get me on the roast. She could probably tell Jeff, hey, I want Earl on the roast. Too bad. But Mom's Mabley, what the fuck? The dude in the mirror is the only dude you need. 100% TB. But, you do need help in this business, and like at this business dinner the other night, this manager, agent, whatever, director, I mean, he's the real deal. Um, he was like, well, what do you want to do, dude? I mean, I'm like, I've gone as far as I can on my own. I need you to help me, like, get on Gutfeld. He's like, that's no problem, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. Um, I do find Nikki attractive. I mean, I'm a Sarah Tiana guy, but oh shit, Peter Chicken Man. Peter, are you gonna give me that MLC shirt? Shit. If you see Neil tonight, let him know KB and I want him to go on MLC. Well, you got to get me the shirt, and then I can say, hey, look, I got your brother's shirt on. Neil and I don't really talk a lot. We're certainly friendly, but we don't talk a lot. So, I need you to be proactive, and I don't mean the acne medication. Hey, hey. And MLC size large. I'll wear it on stage. We'll do some shtick. Help me help you, Chicken Man. Um, Tiana's my number one too. Yeah, I mean, even though we had to roast battle each other on TV, before our roast battle, we made a deal with each other. We said, win or lose, no matter who wins or who loses, no matter if I kill you or you kill me, we're gonna make out at the end of the battle. So to get to make out with Sarah Tiana on international television, one of the cooler things I've ever done. And then the first person I looked at when we stopped making out was Bolivia staring at me like, it's like, we're not even dating. What do you care? I mean, you could fuck half the LA comedy community. I can't make out with Tiana. Hello. All right, 2 more minutes, guys. Then I got to go. High five, protege. I'm lost. What be you sending me? Okay, I don't know. Andy, what up? What up? In the past, have you played any New York comedy clubs? I have played the Stand. TB, I'll see you later, boss. I play the Stand. It's if I ever go back to New York, which I hope to. I have so many friends in New York. Cater, Aaron Cater. It's another deep cut. That was in the glory days of Dublin's and the Ahmed J. Davis triumphant, Mossad like cabal of L.A. comedy. So I think that if I went to New York, I would absolutely play the Stand. I'm not a New York guy. If I was in New York a lot more, I'd probably try and make an attempt to get past at the Cellar. It would be pretty cool to say I'm past both the Cellar and the Comedy Store, but it's just not a priority for me. I know Eddie If said he would arrange an audition because he's in with Esty. Why leave when you just got the MLC audience coming in? Well, I have to go to the Comedy Store and perform. So, unfortunately, that's just the way it works. Hit the like and subscribe button, and now you guys can go to Karmic X's stream. I think KB would go with you to the Cellar. I'm not lying. He would. I would love to go with KB. I think he's fucking funny. Now, he's burned some bridges, I'm sure, in the New York comedy community, but I don't really get involved in other people's drama. So, 2 more minutes, guys. We'll go to 62 minutes, and then I got to make the money, honey. Are you streaming after your set? Probably not. It'll be pretty late. I want you guys to want more, if you know what I'm saying. I think sometimes I stream too much, which might be why sometimes the numbers are a little low. But, Sunday nights are usually my best numbers stream. So I will stream at some point tomorrow, probably in between 5 and 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Maybe I'll try and do it a little earlier so you East Coasters don't have to get it so late. Um, but you never know. I might have a great set and want to stream about it. So I don't know. I mean, I know it would help me if I streamed at the same time, but I just um, until my schedule is a little more set, I'll just stream when I can, and hopefully that's good enough for you guys. And you guys are all soldiers in the Earl Army. Yes, I'm going to try and stream more areas that aren't familiar to you guys and me. Kevin Brennan, I think he would have made waves at the cellar if he returned to the cellar between the comics. He's a polarizing figure at the cellar. But see, I'd be all right with that. Let him, like, obviously I would assume he would introduce me to Esty. I'd go up. I don't really care about sitting at the comics table. I mean, that's a big deal to sit at the cellar, apparently. It's kind of like sitting in the bucket seats in the original room at the Comedy Store. So, um, I don't, I would just do my set and, I think my comedy is more New York esque, if you will. It's a little more hardcore. So, all right, you guys. I've done way more time than I should have. Any Ukrainian women out there? My neighbor's coming tonight. The girl I met on the stream the other night, she's coming. I think she's there right now. Earl Skakel, over and out.